Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess, and in today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to crochet an oval. Learning to crochet an oval is very helpful if you're looking to create any type of pattern with an oval base, such as a bag or amigurumi. While it might be a little bit more difficult at first to understand how to crochet an oval, once you get it, it's very easy. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so before we get started, we're going to go through our supplies. So first, we're going to be using this Paintbox yarn today. It's a size 4 yarn, and it's suggested to use a 5mm hook with this yarn. And so I am going to be using this 5mm hook from Crochet Society. We're also going to need a pair of scissors and some stitch markers. Now, if you don't have any stitch markers, I do have a little trick I'll teach you that basically anybody who owns yarn can use. All right, let's get started. Okay, so the very first thing that we're going to do to start our oval is we're going to make a slip knot. Now, if you need a bit of a slower demonstration on how to do a slip knot, we will link a video in the description box that you can watch. So I'm just going to wrap it around my finger like so. Lift up the front loop, over the back, grab the back loop, and pull out, and there's your slip knot. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to chain 11. Now to do a chain, we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through, and there's one chain. We're going to do that 11 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there is your chain row. Now the important thing when we're creating an oval that we need to know is that each chain consists of 3 strands of yarn. So there's the top loop right here, there's the bottom loop right here, and on the back there's this 3rd loop right here. Now when we crochet along the top like we normally would, we're going to crochet into this top loop and this back loop together. And then this 3rd loop, we're going to crochet into that on our way back underneath to create that oval, which will make more sense as we continue along in the video. So we have chained 11 chains. We're going to skip this first chain and we're going to go into this second chain. We're going to go into the top loop and the back loop of this chain right there. So you should have the 2 loops on your hook like that. You're going to yarn over and pull through, and yarn over and pull through both loops to complete your first single crochet. Now we're going to move on to the next. This is the top loop of the next chain we're going to go into, and the back loop is right there. We're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. Next chain right here, there's the top, and the back loop is right here. Now sometimes these first chains and getting into both of these loops can be difficult, so just take your time with this first row. Once this first row is complete, it does get easier. So under both, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So we'll just crochet along in each of these chains until we get to the other side. Now keep in mind, because we skipped this first chain loop right here, we're only going to have 10 chains to put a single crochet into. So at the end of this row, we should have 10 single crochets. So I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, so this is what we're looking like right now. We have 10 single crochets on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've crocheted into the top loops of all the chains on the top. Now what's left over is on the bottom. When you flip your work, there's going to be the third loop of the chain is going to be on the bottom of each of these single crochets that we just did, just right there. Now that's what we're going to work into to create our oval shape. So we're going to crochet into each of these stitches for a total of 10 single crochets for a whole project total count of 20 stitches, 10 on the top and 10 on the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert our hook into this third loop of our chain, and we're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through to create a single crochet. And then we're going to do that all the way across the bottom. So this loop right here is the loop we're going into, that bottom loop. You should only have one strand on your hook. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. You want to do this all the way across. Until we reach the very first stitch that we made. Now make sure you keep count of your stitches because it can be really hard to miss a stitch here. Okay, so let's count our stitches. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And now we have that oval shape, just like that. Now, if you have a stitch marker, you would place it right here so that you can remember where the next row, where you finished off and where the next row starts. If you don't have a stitch marker, what I like to do is I like to just take a spare strand of yarn, and I usually like to do a little bit of a lighter weight yarn. So this is a number 3 yarn. And basically what I do is I just place that yarn right in front of the very last stitch of the previous row, like that. And then I will grab my hook and I'll crochet right over top of that strand. So I know that this strand is where I end and begin each row. Now to begin the next row, what we're going to do is we're going to complete an increase stitch. Basically what an increase stitch is we're going to complete 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. What this does for us is it increases the amount of stitches around, and it will give us a flatter base on the corners. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert our hook into this very first stitch that we made. We're going to yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through. So that's 1 single crochet. Now we're going to put another single crochet in the very same stitch. So insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So now we have 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. After we do our increase stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the following 8 stitches across. So we'll insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to place another increase stitch in both of these two corner stitches, so this stitch and this stitch. So we're going to insert our hook into the first one, yarn over, pull through, that's one single crochet. We're going to do one more in that same stitch. Insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So now we have 2 single crochets in this corner stitch. Now we're going to put 2 single crochets in this corner stitch as well. Next, we're going to put a single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we have one more stitch right here before our row ends. So we're going to do another increase stitch into this row, or into this stitch, sorry. So we're going to insert our hook. We're going to do 1 single crochet, and then we're going to insert our hook again and do another single crochet into that very same stitch. And that is the 3rd row of our oval. Now our stitch marker here, basically what I do is I just fold it over so it's going to hold that spot, and I'm going to continue around, and I'm just basically folding it back and forth over the rows as I go, and then once I'm completed I just pull the whole string out and you'll never know that it was there. So there is the beginning of our oval. Just follow along whatever pattern you're completing, but now you have the base for how to create an oval. Let us know in the comments below if this tutorial was helpful for you. We hope you have a lovely day, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!